continue with rift number 2. Rift number 2 came the world wars. My grandfather, who I told you about earlier, was part of these experiences. He was raised in a generation of military, a generation of drafts, a generation in which our global society was at war with each other. The boys and the young men who had been raised in the Industrial Revolution were then hit with a second rift, which was go to war and defend the freedoms of this country in the United States and all of the free democratic countries around the world, Republicans around the world. And so off they went. But these were the boys that had been raised by industrial fathers. And a second story was now being told. See, we're around a lot of military men here at Wake Up Warrior. We honor the military in a big way. To the men, to the women who have served in every country to protect the liberties and the freedoms of their nations. Here at Wake Up Warrior, we have a strict relationship with the Navy SEALs Fund, and we see the value of the military when it comes to protecting our freedoms and our rights. And every single month and every single week, we serve inside of that capacity, helping, guiding, and serving men and women who have been in that kind of service for us. But inside of that, one of the things I can confirm today that was true back then too, is that the military did not tell you and teach you how to feel. See, to kill another man, in order to defend inside that plan, you can't be okay with feeling. There's no time for it. There's no time to feel. Because when I got to take out a gun and I got to put it to your head, my feelings get in the way. And they have me do something else instead. And so a whole generation of boys, raised during the World War times, 1, 2, as they were raised during the society, we now stack the second on top of the first. The first was your job is to go get the money. The second story that began to be inserted inside of men was your feelings don't matter. We'd hear phrases like, stop being a pussy. What's fucking wrong with you? You crying? Don't be a baby. And fathers would raise their sons under that game to not be okay with feeling. It's not the men weren't feeling. Fuck, men were feeling like crazy. They felt as much then as they do today. They just didn't have social media to complain or to whine or to say anything else or to be happy, sad, happy, upset, all of the emotions. See, men feel. Unbeknownst to what most women think, men actually feel. The story's been told that women are the feelers and men don't give a shit. This is just not true. Men have been fucking trained for decades. Decades and now over a century to not feel. Listen, we don't got time for your shit. Your job is to go get the money. You've got to represent and bring home the honey. Like inside that game, your job is really simple. Your feelings are going to get in the way. So shut the fuck up with your talk. That's girl talk. Don't be emotional. There's no room for this. Go get the money, ignore your feelings, and inside of that rift came the rise of the super mom dad. Watch what happens. The men go off to war. Who's going to work? Who's going to work? The mom dads. The mom dads are now required to do something that's just astronomical. I mean, the emotional impact on young men and women is almost impossible for us to measure. Dad is now gone. A whole generation of men are deployed. Go get the money, don't have any feelings. Mom, who has become mom dad, now has to become super mom dad. Super mom dad requires her to now go get paid, as well as run the feminine responsibilities, the masculine responsibilities, marry both of those energies. But see, inside the workplace, the feminine, softer side of a man or woman is not available. And so women were taught again not to feel. And inside that place, there was no room for feeling inside the industrial workplace. And so women worked and hustled and tried the best they could to become the super mom dads that nobody knew they would. Men, go get the money. Ignore your feelings. Women, you need to be the man because the men are gone. You're going to need to be the emotional mom and the emotional support for your children because dad doesn't know how anymore. You're going to have to be the disciplinarian because dad's fucking gone all the time. You're going to have to be the one who carries it all.